to segment number 2 of the Cummins Real Estate Group show with Michelle Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. And now is time for one of Michelle Cummins' extra special, world-famous introductions.
I'm ready. Are you, Curtis?
I look forward to these introductions. I really do, because I cannot come up with introductions like you can. You have a flair for it.
Oh, please, no. But I do love bringing really good people together, and people who are smart and savvy and full of energy and have good care and knowledge. And oh my gosh, I do love that. So I am excited to announce our special guest, financial advisor. Okay, so we're here today to give you, our listeners, financial tips to help you with some financial concepts for your home buying experience. And here today with leading financial services professional Brandon Kirk to talk about you and your home and how to plan accordingly to your financial goals. So Brandon, tell us your story of how you got into the industry and why buyers and sellers today could benefit from a sound financial plan, because you have a lot more to share about you and what you have to offer than me.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, I have always had a passion for bettering well-being of people, and that stands true today. The idea of well-being, financial well-being, is something we all want to have, but not everyone has a plan to obtain it or to make it a part of their lifestyle. So I'm excited today to inspire some of our listeners and viewers to make the next step.
Oh, well, that's so awesome, and we really appreciate you taking the time to come on here. I've known you for a while now, and we've met so many times, and I'm very excited for you to share a lot of stuff. So when it comes to time to buying and selling or owning a home, what are some ways homeowners can get the advantage today? Please share.
Of course, a great question. So the first place to start is going to be budgeting. So not to be making light of the flood, but we don't want to get over ahead with our monthly budget. And that can be a great way to fine-tune your finances and reduce the month-to-month expenses, and in turn, month-to-month stress that can really help families in times like now.
You know, that is a great point. And I know that when we made our move to our house, that was one of our big concerns, is we didn't want to be, house poor and things like that, especially with 3 teenagers and all that they can eat. So now when you say budgeting, what could be some of those home expenses you could be thinking of that you can reduce things and get you better set up?
So this can actually seem like a very daunting task, but the easiest way, when you go back on your bank statement and see where money's actually going out, you'll soon come to realize that phone bills, internet cable, auto and home insurance, and many other regular bill payments can be optimized just by calling your provider. And in the end, without their loyal customers, they won't have business. So being able to adjust and work on those monthly bills to work in your favor so that these companies are able to retain you as a client.
Okay, very, very cool. Although I do work for Rogers, so let's not get that out there too much, right? I mean, they pay the bills for me. What would you recommend other ways than a budget that homeowners can further their the strength of their financial plan?
So the first way to be financially sound in times like these is to have an emergency fund for roughly 3 months of your fixed occurring expenses. In the case of job loss or disability, or in the case we're facing now where mandatory isolation or being able to be within our home is necessary. So in this case, this should be in a liquid account that you have quick access to in a time of need. So this can also be for repairs to home or vehicle as well. And if it is used, it should be replaced over time.
It's funny because with realtors, they say you should have at least 6 months budget. And lately, it's almost like, when you first get into real estate, they say even a year. So at least 6 months to a year when, independent contracting or one like that. So there's just so many expenses with real estate. But yeah, that makes sense.
You're married to a musician, Michelle. You should always have 3 years of wages saved up.
So true. 23 years married to a musician. Yeah, that's right. I know it.
I need a new guitar, hon.
But the financial planning that Brandon has advised is very smart because, yes, thank goodness for Brandon. Now, Brandon, when all of this clears, right, how can families reduce their fixed expenses as well? Because that's a big one.
Exactly. So great question, Michelle. And this is going to be my most important point, and that is going to be eliminating consumer debt as fast as possible and find ways to pay more than your minimum payment. So one concept I talk about with my clients and people that I care about is going to be debt stacking. And this is going to be teaching people how to put their debt payments into overdrive. So this concept, it makes sense in reality, but it's very easy to make extra payments or to get discombobulated with all the little debts and that can be accumulated. So whether it's a credit card, line of credit, personal loans at a time like this. For example, instead of paying a couple $100s on each debt, make the minimum payment on the lower interest debts and put all the extra dollars onto the high interest rates, into the higher interest credit cards or loans that you may have.
Yeah, great points, Brandon, and very key to getting ahead of the monthly budget. Budgeting is so key, and here towards the end of the year, I always take this month of December and part of January to really look at everything. I look at my budget every quarterly and annually, and it is big staying on top of it and for growing your wealth. You got to keep an eye on that budget. So what are some creative ways that buyers can get into the market?
So it is so rewarding to help clients unlock and reveal money that they did not know that they had access to. So this is the case when I work with clients and they show me their group plans. So where most people believe that RSPs are locked until retirement, some may have restrictions, but many allow you to access the first-time home buyers grant of $35,000 for your first down payment, which can come directly from your RSPs. And as long as your money is where it originated from, your contributions, you would be able to access this, and it could be part of your RSP grant. So I've helped many clients with this here and excited when a client does not realize that they have money that they can use.
Can you share with us a story about it's so amazing the stories that you must have with helping people get out of debt and then furthering their wealth and getting established and feeling confident about their future and their retirement and, setting up even their children's. Oh, there's some great things you have to share as well about building up wealth for your children in like a certain insurance program. So you're helping them save for their future down payment or, to pay for university. Can you share us about that?
100%. So every client I sit down with, I do something called a financial needs analysis. And it gives a snapshot of where they're at for themselves, their net worth, their kids. And one of the stories here, that I have lots of stories from previous, but one of the last stories in the past 30 days was I sat down with a lovely couple from Chilliwack, and we were looking at their financial needs analysis. And over the time, they have been trying to save for their wedding. They've been trying to save for their new home. And what this financial needs analysis did is it gave clarity to the timeline, the reverse engineering of how long it would take them to get into their home. So what was a 5 to 10 year game plan ended up being 22 months from start to completion. And this is where this lovely client went to their parents and was almost in tears saying, I'm excited to reach our goals here in a fraction of the time. So that was the story of being able to work with the clients and help them go from long-term goals to short-term goals.
Can you share with us, that is so beautiful because it's in the heart of people that you're changing lives. But what got you into what you do? Can you share some light on that so our listeners can get to know you a bit personally more as well? What made you do what you do?
Yes. So previously, throughout my university, I wanted to better the well-being of people. I was in the medical field, and I thought I was going to do that physically. With the transition and the opportunity of going into business for myself, I saw that there was a massive need to better the well-being of people who live in financial obscurity. So this started in April of 2018, working with individuals that may have been twice my age, may have had a whole lot more money than me, but that's where through the financial services licenses that I've attained, I've been able to help over 550 clients reach their insurance and their investment goals. And that's where every single client has a story, every single client has a goal, And I am thankful that I get to be a part of that story and help them reach that goal. And that's a bit about me with my story.
Well, Mr. Brandon Kirk, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing with us your advice and ideas and your story. And that is so wonderful. If anybody wants to contact Brandon, I do have his contact information on my homepage under group, under my service partners. So you can have a look there for his information. Thank you, Brandon.
You are most welcome, and I'm excited to be a guest on a show in the city where I grew up.
Thank you. That's right.